Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Kareem to all the Muslims. Ramadan Mubarak. Um, Today is the first day of Ramadan for those of you who don't know. Ramadan is a special month. It is the Ramadan is the 9th month of the Muslim calendar. It's a month of fasting and prayer and soul searching. And it was prescribed upon us by God Almighty that we should fast in this month from dawn to dusk. Actually pre-dawn, like just before the sunrise until dusk. So it's a special month. It's probably our biggest holy day, holiday of the year for Muslims. And it's a month where we focus on self-restraint. We practice self-control, and we use this time to try to draw closer to God and improve our connection with God, so that during the rest of the year we'll be more in tune. It's kind of like giving us a tune-up, a spiritual tune-up, so that during the rest of the year we'll be able to sustain and practice the religion more easily. Those are some of the reasons behind why we fast. So we fast from sun up to sundown. There's no food or water, no marital relations until after sunset. And we do this, like I said, the Quran instructs us to fast during the 9th month so that we will gain consciousness, God consciousness, meaning that we would be always remembering that God is watching us, and that our actions we are going to have to give an account for each and every action that we do. So this month kind of helps us to focus in on that and hone that skill of being God conscious, or having the fear of God, knowing that God is always watching, and that you should adjust your actions according to the fact, knowing that God is watching and that He's recording everything that you do, and that you'll be questioned when you die about everything that you did during your life. It's really just a nice day here on Medina Farm. It's in the upper 40s. Pretty much all the snow is gone for the moment, although I guess they're saying that we may get some more snow by the weekend. But for now, there's no snow. I'm just loving the weather. It's feeling so much like spring. I just can't wait to get my hands dirty and start planting outside. But anyways, I want to greet all the Muslims on my channel and say, may Ramadan be blessed for you, and may we all achieve forgiveness in this month and the months to come through properly fasting and observing the commandments of God during this time. And may God forgive us all and grant us His peace and blessings and during this time. So far today, I started out on the 2nd chapter of the Quran. Usually during this month we dedicate this month to memorizing and reading and understanding the Quran, which we believe is the true, unadulterated Word of God. It has not been changed or tampered with since it was revealed to God's messenger. May God's peace and blessings be upon him and upon all those who follow the path of righteousness until the last day. Just a couple of my goals for this month. Usually during this time I try to memorize a couple chapters every year, a couple new chapters that I haven't learned. So I try to memorize those. And it's very important to be extremely charitable. Um, they said God's messenger during this time was more charitable than a wind that brings rain in a desert climate. So he was extremely charitable. He gave. He put. He was also a salesman, a traveling merchant. So he would put his stuff on sale this time of year, and he was extremely charitable to all those around him. So these are some of the things that we strive to do during this time, and try to find somebody that we can give charity to, whoever it is around us, our neighbors, our friends, anybody that we know that's in need. Try to be charitable at this time. And we're also trying to imitate the steps of Jesus Christ. May God's peace and blessings be upon him as well. He's also our example. And he also fasted during the month of Ramadan. I think it's recorded in the Bible where he was fasting Ramadan and he was tempted of the devil. So this is not a new practice. It's something that Jesus did, and all the believers from the beginning up until now have always observed fasting as part of the true religion of God. So these are some of the reasons why we fast, and um, it really there really is a huge benefit in it spiritually, in that it really does make you to stop and reflect on your life and think about how you can improve things, what can you do better for the sake of God, and those type of things. This is a whole month of reflection and self-improvement at this time. So these are some of the things, and during the month I'll show you some different highlights of things that we do during this time. It's like I said, this is our biggest holiday of the year, basically, you could say. You could say it's like our Christmas. Um, so we fast for 30 days, and then at the end of the 30 days we have a celebration that lasts for a couple days, where we have food and invite friends over, etc. So each day I'll be sharing or every couple of days, I guess, I'll be sharing just some highlights of things that I'm going through during Ramadan, share it with you, and I'd love to hear from the other Muslims how you're doing at this time, and some, different things that you do to make Ramadan better for you. So far today I have been just reflecting on Surah Al-Baqarah. It's the second chapter of the Quran, and actually the longest chapter in the Quran. Um, it's got over 200 verses in it, and a lot of information that's really heavy, and to mull over and digest. Some definitely deep, thought-provoking subjects. So I've been meditating on that, and just doing a little bit of light work. Usually the first 2 or 3 days are the most difficult for me, in terms of just getting adjusted to the schedule, not eating during the day, and still trying to get a decent amount of work done. I usually lighten my load a little bit during Ramadan, because obviously, after noon or so you start feeling a little weak from not having food or water. So I just kind of take it easy, work 2 or 3 hours and take a break, and work a couple more hours, just depending on how I'm feeling. And so right now I'm actually taking a little break. I've been sorting out some of the last bit of the wood that I got from that's the last bit of wood that I got from the pallet shop back there by the wheelbarrow. It's just about gone. So I thought I'd take a little break from that because I was feeling a little weak, and just chat with you guys and let you know what's going on here at the farm. lot of spring cleaning to do. I'm pretty eager to do that. Get the yard looking nice again. There's a lot of down trees and branches, etc. So I'm going to be working on that over the next week or so. Hopefully I'll be able to get the yard looking pretty decent again during that time. One thing that I really feel blessed for is to be able to be self-employed during this time. I remember 10 or 15 years ago when I was working full-time at a factory, and fasting during this time was very difficult. Working for non-Muslim people, you don't really understand what it's like and the importance of it. And at the time, the factory that I was working at was very strenuous. We had a lot of, we were working loading and unloading garage doors by hand, and some of them were pretty long, like 40-50 feet long. It would take 2 or 3 people to lift them, and it was extremely hot in the semi-trailers. And my boss at the time was feeling a bit frustrated, feeling like I wasn't working up to par like I normally was during the rest of the year. And so I'm really grateful this year that I'm able to stay home for the most part. I probably will work a little bit on the farm, not my farm, but the bigger farm that I work for part-time. I probably will work a couple days next week there, but just half a day. But I'm really grateful that I'm able to sustain a living from home and be able to observe Ramadan without having the pressure of, working for someone who's non-Muslim. They put pressure on you, and you kind of feel caught between a rock and a hard place. You want to observe your religion properly, and you want to make them happy as being their employee. And so sometimes it's kind of difficult because obviously you're fasting, you don't have a lot of energy, and they want you to work as hard as you possibly can. And so for all the Muslims out there that are in that situation, my dua definitely goes out to you. And I know how hard it is to work when you're fasting, especially on a very strenuous job like that. May Allah reward you for your effort. I mean, so that's one thing I'm really grateful for this year, is that I can work from home, and if I start feeling weak, I can take a rest. I don't have to worry about being on somebody else's clock and making them upset because they're paying me and I'm not working my full extent. I guess that for me, that is usually the hardest difficulty of Ramadan, is being employed by someone else and trying to do your best, and yet feeling weak from the effort. It's probably something that a lot of non-Muslim people have never thought of before, but definitely in a non-Muslim country such as America, it's very difficult at times, depending on who you are and what your situation is. So tonight we have a potluck at our community center for everybody that's fasting to come together and break their fast together. So I'm getting ready to do chores early. I usually don't do chores till around 6, but we break fast at 8 p.m. and it takes me an hour to get there. So getting ready to do chores now, and so I can have that all done when I come back tonight. It'll probably be dark, and that way when I come back I won't have anything to do but just relax. So the evening chores pretty much just consist of curing in wood. We're still burning wood up here. It gets pretty chilly at night still. And giving the animals hay for the evening. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll One thing I have to say about this time of year is there's really definitely a peace and a tranquility that you really feel from fasting, and really a strong community spirit. At this time, our community really comes together, and you know, we struggle together, we fast together, we break our fast together, and it builds a strong community spirit, a strong connection to my brothers and sisters here and also around the world that are, everyone is fasting at this time. 1/3 of the world's population belong to our religion, and we know everybody that is able to is fasting and suffering together, and we break our fast together, and it just creates a really nice community spirit, everybody working together. It's something that's hard to explain if you haven't experienced it, but it definitely makes it a lot easier, knowing that all your friends and family and everybody's all fasting and we're all doing it together. That's a couple of the things that really make Ramadan really special and unique, I guess. And another thing is it helps us to identify with poor people in the world that are starving right now. You know, we can identify, we know what it feels like to be hungry all day and not have nothing to eat. But unfortunately, or fortunately for us, we are able to eat once it gets dark, whereas they go to sleep hungry and they wake up hungry. And we're supposed to be the most charitable at this time, so it definitely helps you to feel their pain, and you know makes you open your pocketbook a little more for them to donate. We take collections for poor people at this time, and it's really a very important thing. It's actually considered to be one of the pillars of the religion. So one of the foundations of the religion is giving charity and fasting. So this is really hard to explain, the spiritual benefits, but you can definitely feel it. And it's just, everybody's feeling it. Everybody's, happy, in a good mood. And like I say, we're all striving together to be a community that works together and supports one another. And also, when you're fasting, you're not allowed to get angry. If you get angry or get into an argument, then your fast is voided. So that's another thing we struggle to not get angry, to be calm and peaceful at this time, not get into any arguments, etc., unless our fast becomes void. So when we enter the masjid, what they do is they give you a handful of dates and a bottle of water, and we sit and wait patiently until the call to prayer is announced, which at this point we have about 3 minutes. Once the call to prayer is announced, we break our fast using dates and the water. Dates obviously are very high in antioxidants, a great very nutritious to put on your stomach. When you have an empty stomach, it's just something soft and gentle. And so we would make a supplication, personal supplication first, then break our fast with the dates and water. And at that time we would rush to make the evening prayer.
Please straighten the line. Turn off your phones. Allahu Akbar. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر.
So basically, this is the part where we're waiting for. This is where we get all the good food. It was a super long line. There was like three separate lines going all at the same time. It was really good food. They had salad, hummus. There was basmati rice with a beef and chicken stew over it. And they had pita bread to go with it as a complimentary. They also served hot tea. A little bit difficult navigating the camera and the my plate. And I was trying to keep up with my brother, and he took off really fast, and took me a minute to find it, but he actually found us a really good seat. But basically, this is what we do. This is how we break the fast. Or our community dinner, we usually have one every weekend for the whole community to come together and eat, enjoy the food, enjoy each other's fellowship, and strengthen each other for the fast. And then after we eat, we have a little more fellowship, and then we have a short halakha, which is something similar to like what the Christians have with a Bible study, where we have our imam or preacher would, sit down with us and impart knowledge about the religion. So that's basically what we do, and that's kind of a sneak peek into our community center and how we break our fast during Ramadan. These people here are still all in line as I'm making my way to where my brother is sitting. You'll notice the diversity is like so many different cultures, different people all coming together under the same religion to worship God alone. And it's a very big high point.
I gotta go back and get this silverware.
The one who cheats is greedy wants to accumulate more and more and more, doesn't want to share, doesn't want to recognize Allah's blessing, is not grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So which shows us what? One of the cursed people by Allah is who? The one who is not true in their financial life. We have to be very careful with money. Money can be your ticket to Jannah if you are honest. And money can also be your seat to the hellfire if you're a cheater, if you have taken others' wealth, if you have lied, if you have, deceived people to make more money, if you have not been honest. And this applies, by the way, we work nowadays. Those of us who have businesses is one thing, but those of us who work 9 to 5 jobs is very difficult because you're being paid for a certain job. You have a contract with your company, your employer. You're being paid by the hour or by the year, and you clock in early and you clock out late. That happens, doesn't it? There are people out there who are not honest with their employers, who are sleeping at work, on the phone, at work. Okay, they should be doing work at that time. This is their contract, this is their job. They're not honest with their employers. They're getting this money and just trying to fool their employers and fool the customers and lie and deceive and just to get more power, just to get more money. It's very dangerous. We have to be honest in our dealings, in our financial dealings. So both places where Allah started the surah with wail are about financial corruptions. Financial corruption is one of the greatest of all corruptions.